Hello everyone, welcome back to Doodle Dollars. This is Courtney and today we are going to be doing a little tutorial for how to create some savings challenges. So this tutorial is going to be more so for people who have never done this before, who are pretty new to this. So if you are familiar with creating in Canva specifically, this might not be the video for you. I will have more videos coming with more tips and tricks and stuff for people who are already familiar with using Canva, but this is very basic stuff in this video. So, but if you have never used Canva before, or you're just very new to Canva, then this video is for you. So we are in Canva Pro, but you can also use the free version and create some awesome stuff. So I'm going to share that process with you. Now, this is just my process that I use. It's not necessarily going to be the same for every single person, but this is what I do. So starting out, you're going to create a design. And I always go to custom size. And for my challenges of like my minis, that's what we're creating today. I use a 11 by 8.5, which is just like a standard size paper. So I'm going to click on that. So here's our blank canvas. I always start off with going up here to elements and creating a shape. Then I'm going to just click and set it over here for now. Next, I'm going to go up here to position, and I'm going to determine and set the width and the length and the height, to 3.25 by 6, because that is a pretty good size for an A6 binder, like to fit in the envelope. So once that is done, I'm going to make the color transparent, and I'm going to add a border of 8 points here. So this is the border category, the border weight, and you can set whatever weight you want. So that's pretty thick. I usually like 8 or sometimes 10. Let's go with 10. Yeah. So that's how I start off. Next, I'm going to go over here to uploads, and I'm assuming that you will already have some photos planned on, saved to your computer that you are planning on using. So I'm going to upload my files here. Where did I save them? There they are. Okay, so you can see they're uploading now. And when I'm choosing my pictures, guys, I usually try to get a bundle of images that coordinate, because my goal in creating my minis especially is to have them be slightly, different from each other, but to have unity. So pulling pictures from different bundles or pulling like single one-off pictures or images can be tricky because they don't necessarily coordinate. So that is personally what I do. And then you can see I have these cute little bunnies here and some other cute elements. So I'm going to start with these guys. And I'm just going to select all of them by clicking and dragging my mouse and pulling in the corners so that they're more of the size that I'm looking for. Okay, and I can always change that later. So for our first challenge here, let's use this one. I'm going to just resize this a little bit to make it the size that I kind of want it to be. And here I'm just trimming off the little excess. Okay, so we'll start with that. Now, let's see. this is like my main image here. So let me just copy this and we'll put our other two images in. Okay, so I'm gonna just select this box that I already made and I'm gonna hit Control D so that duplicates everything. I'm gonna line this up so it's like in the middle of my page. You can see that it's in the middle here with that pink line, and then I'm just trying to find, there it is, that one. Okay, and I'm gonna do that one more time, and I'm gonna add one over here. You can also see right now the numbers 0.198. That means that all of the challenges are evenly spaced from each other. But if that doesn't pop up and you're struggling to get things spaced correctly, I have a trick for you as well. Okay, so the other thing I want to mention with setting these up initially is I try to make sure that they are all in line, because when you're cutting them down to size, and this one is, let's say this one was slightly here and this one was slightly down, well, it's going to be tough to make a straight cut. You're going to have to cut multiple times. So I try to make sure that they're all nicely lined up so that people can cut them more easily. Okay, my little image is hiding back here now. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this guy and this guy. Now for this middle challenge here, okay, so what's happened here is that this box is covering this picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. Why is it not pulling up? There we go. And I'm going to go to layer. I'm going to send this backward, and now I can click on my image. Okay, so I'm going to line this guy up here, and we're going to grab this one and put it here. Okay, and now here again, I'm making sure this lines up with the middle of this box, and you can see that line there is telling me it's in the middle right there. Okay, I think those look pretty good so far. I might adjust them later when we add the other elements, just depending on how much room we have and how much room we need. But for now, I'm happy with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is look for maybe something to go in the background of these boxes. So I'm going to just type in over here in elements, I'm going to type in Easter background. And I'm going to just click on the graphics one. I like using graphics. You can also go to photos. This is more like realistic photos. You can see these eggs look like real eggs. That's, for me, that's not really the style. It's not going to match because these are cartoony. So I kind of want something that's going to match the style. This one might be cute. Okay, so I'm going to size this down to fit inside this box right here. And I want to make sure that there's not going to be any white spaces around the edges. So I think this is going to work nicely, and I'm going to layer it and I'm going to send it backward so that it's not only behind my image but also behind the border of the box. Okay, I think we did it. Yeah, because now when I move the box, that's in front. Okay, now you can see that the image here doesn't really stand out very much. So I'm going to change that by adjusting the transparency of this. So you can come up here to transparency and you can make this lighter so that it fades more into the background. So I'm going to leave it like that for now and see how that does. Okay, now the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to select both the background and the box, and I'm going to click on group. And that way whenever I click to move this around, they move together as one unit. Okay, I'm liking that so far. I kind of wish this, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes I end up adjusting these things over and over again. I'm just scrolling through here to see if there's any other backgrounds that I might like. This one could be cute. Okay, now you'll notice with this one that it does not have any lines to adjust like the edges. You can only drag it out like this. And then the eggs end up being really big. So if it's a seamless pattern, which is a pattern that repeats seamlessly, you can hit Control D, which duplicates the image, and you should be able to shift it down here. And do you see how this egg lines up perfectly with that egg? Then to fix this part, you'll need to go up here to crop, and then you can drag this and adjust the size like that. Okay, now you'll notice both of these are in front of my other picture, so I'm going to layer them so that they are behind it. I kind of like that actually more so than the colors, because I'm sorry if you can hear me moving in my chair, it's squeaky. Because this is, I think it stands out better. And let's see what happens when I make this slightly more transparent as well. So we don't want the background to be the main star. Okay, I think that is good. So let me So if I just forgot what number I had this on, so 55. All right, so I want this one to be 55 as well so that it matches the top one. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I really like that actually. Okay, so we're going to go with this background. So I'm going to group these ones together. I'm going to get rid of this and duplicate this. And then I'm going to send it to the back. All right. I'm going to do that one more time for this one just because it's easier to duplicate everything than having to add the background again. Okay, and you'll notice here there are keyboard shortcuts for all of these. So if you find it easier to use Control, Alt, and this, or Control and this like bracket here, then you can absolutely do that. And sometimes I do that too, just to make things a little bit faster. Okay, that is looking pretty cute to me. So next, I'm going to move on. I go back to my uploads, and now I'm going to add the little elements that, you know, are the icons for what you are saving. Okay, so let's see. All right, I know for sure I want to add this little carrot to this one where the bunny is holding the carrot, because I think that would coordinate really nicely. All right, now here I'm going to just place it on there. I'm going to kind of size it down to what I think it might be a good. I usually try to get 3 or 4 of them in a row. And then I'm going to hit Control D, which will duplicate it. Now once I position it here and I hit Control D, it should line up exactly spaced like this first one that I placed, which is wonderful. We might even be able to do 5. Okay, so now I'm going to shift this one over here, and I'm going to shift this one right there. And I know that they are not spaced well, so I'm going to select all of them. Now the way you select all of them is you can either click and, nope, we need to lock this first. So yeah, you can either click the lock position here, and that will lock this in place. So you can see here I'm trying to move it, but it's not moving. And so then you can click and drag here, select all of those, come up here to position, and click on tidy up. And that is going to space everything evenly from this first element here to the last element here. Okay, then once I do that, I usually group them together and I hit Control D and it duplicates the whole row for me. Okay, so we have 4 rows of carrots here. I'm going to do the same thing with the tidying up. I'm going to move this one up here and I'm going to adjust this one to where I want it to end, which I think is about there. I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to click tidy up and it's going to evenly space them out for me. Okay, I really like that. I think that's super cute. So let's find our elements like this for these other challenges here. Okay, I think I'm going to do this blue egg with this bunny right here. Again, I'm just positioning it, sizing it for how I want it, hitting Control D. And I think we're only going to do 4 eggs since they're a little bit, they take up a little bit more space than the carrots. All right, and then if you didn't want to lock this in place, you can also click and hit Shift and click the next one and the next one and the next one. And that is a different way to select them all. Okay, now they're in position, and before I unclick, I'm going to click Group to group them together and hit Control D to make extra rows. And here I'm just seeing, you see how they are not aligned here. So I always try to make sure that I tidy up so that they're evenly spaced and straight. And this actually kind of looks off center to me. So I'm going to select them all again and I'm going to move them over and I'm just going to make sure that this pink line is popping up here, which it is. There it is. And now I know that they are in the center. Okay. Let's see. I'm just playing around with the size right now. I think I can make these a little bit bigger so that they fit the page more. All right, so I have this line here in the middle telling me that it's aligned this way with my box. And there's also this line up here at the top that you can see that's telling me that the eggs are aligned with the top of the carrots here. All right, I like how that is looking now. So next, I'm going to just speed up this part when I do this middle one, but it's the same process. So I'm going to use this pink egg. All right, and here we go. Speed it up. So I'm done with the eggs. I grouped them all together so I can easily move them around. All right, now I'm going to move this up slightly because I want some space at the bottom to put my name. And same with this one. Okay, but since I moved that up, I feel like these carrots need to come up a little bit. Okay, just so they're not touching the bunny's ear. And I can move this one up as well. There we go. And that way I have room here at the bottom. That one just seemed a little big, so I just made it a tiny bit smaller. Okay, I really like how these are looking so far. Now, I'm going to ungroup all of these so that I can edit the border color. So the border color for this one I want to be, I think, this blue to match the blue going on here. So you can see down here, when I click on this border color, I have my color wheel pop up. These are my brand colors. And then these are photo colors. So I use these a lot to just get colors that automatically coordinate. So I'm going to click on this blue and see how I like it. And I do like that. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Click here, and then the picture here that I'm using has these colors. So let's see how that one looks. And that one is a little too light, I think. There's this one too. I think I like the darker one. It's a little easier to see the border. And then last but not least, I'm going to do our carrot. Now, if it's locked, you notice that the color wheel is gone. So I need to unlock it first. And then I can come up here and yeah, I think I'm going to do the lighter orange because it's more pastel-y, more Easter-like. Okay, now I'm going to lock all of these, or group all of these and lock them in place. Before I do that, I knew that was off center. Okay, lock that one in place. Group, and I'm going to just, there we go, and lock. Actually, wait. I wanted to do something. This is just me being very particular probably, but I want to have this one in the middle and this one over here. Because these first two bunnies both had eggs, and this one is a little different, so I wanted that one to be in the middle. Don't ask me why, it just feels nicer to me to have like it just looks more of like a contrast, I guess, with the design and the colors too, honestly. Okay, so now I'm going to lock these in place. Okay. That is looking pretty cute to me. So next we are going to add some text. So you're going to come over here to the T. You can select any of these really. This heading one is really big, slightly smaller, and smaller. So I usually add with these. Our text is going to end up small anyway, so I usually start with the smallest one, and this is even too big. So let's see, what should we, I think we're just going to call this Happy Easter. It's not very original, but it's cute. All right. And I'm going to make it a little smaller. I'm going to adjust this so that it's not hanging over too much. Okay, and then I can come up here to the font, and I'm going to change the font to something that I feel like matches the vibe, if that makes sense, and also is not too difficult to read. So you want your font to be legible. At least that's what I think. So this one is very easy to read. It's pretty cute with this set of challenges. I think I want it to be a little smaller so that there's more space around it. But I like that one. But sometimes I spend forever playing around with the font and getting the correct, I don't know, just the one that feels right. All right, so I'm just hitting Control D here, and I am adding this title to all of our little challenges, and I'm just making sure that there's enough space around these. I don't want the letters touching any of the elements, but I think that looks pretty cute, and I am happy with that. So I'm going to just duplicate this box and I'm going to drag it down here. And I'm going to change the text out. To change the text, you got to double click. And I'm just going to add my name here, my channel name, Doodle Dollars. And I'm going to size this down. You can also highlight and then type in the font number that you want. I usually make this pretty small so that it's not too overbearing, but so that people can clearly read my channel name and know where they're getting their freebies from or their challenges from. Okay, I don't love how this is overlapping a little bit. It's kind of crowded here. So I'm going to unlock this and I'm going to see if I can move it up a little bit. Oh, no, wait, that moved the whole thing. Hold on, I need to ungroup everything first. Okay. Now my carrots are, so I think I just need to make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, there. So now you can see my name is at the bottom here of each challenge. So then I would normally put, so you can do a few things. I'm sure you guys have seen all sorts of different challenges. So, you can say, put numbers here on each egg and that's what they save, or you can say each icon is and leave a blank for the person to decide. That's usually what I end up doing because I like challenges like that because I like to decide my own amounts. So let's do that with the carrot one. So you are just copying the text here. Sorry again for my chair. Each, and sometimes I just do this where it's like a colon and a line, and I usually end up changing this to Canva sans because otherwise the line has like those gaps in it and I don't like that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and I'm going to just decide where I want to put it. Sometimes I put it down here. Sometimes I put it more up here. You could put it at the top. So I think I like it there. I'm going to add a few more, maybe just one more. Yeah, okay. That way it doesn't stand out too much. The other option you have is to add numbers directly to the icons. So I'm going to duplicate this and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so I'm just going to click up here and I'm going to say, let's say we want this egg to be 1. Okay, so the hardest thing about this for me is getting it to a place where I feel like it's centered well on the actual icon. There, I feel like that works well. I might make it a little bit bigger. And then the other thing that I worry about or that I think about is it easy to be read? So if you're worried about that, here's what you can do. Sometimes you can it's hard to see like what the actual words are, what the number is, especially if there's something behind it. So to make it stand out more, you can go to effects and add a background. And I know it's crazy with the yellow, but we're going to change that. So we're going to actually change it to the same color as the eggs. Now my image's colors aren't popping up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this plus sign, add a new color. We're going to go down here to the color picker and we're going to we're just going to set it on this egg here. Okay. And there it is. And then I'm going to reduce the spread of that background. And you can also adjust the transparency so it's not as visible, but this will just help with legibility. Okay, and there it is. Then you can Control D, duplicate it. And we're going to try to get it centered in this egg here. Okay, so what you can do if you're trying to center things exactly is you can use the arrow keys. There's a left arrow key, right arrow key, and I feel like oops, Etsy notification. There we go. I feel like that's pretty good centered right there. If it's not working out exactly as you want it, you can always go up to position and you can come over here to the y-axis, excuse me. And I can't remember, is this going to work? Oh wait, no, that's the wrong. We need the x-axis. I always forget which one is which. Okay, so I'm going to do 4, and that moves it over slightly to the left. If I increase the number, it moves it over slightly to the right. So I think I need it a little bit further right. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, so now that I have those, actually this one, I think I want to move over a little bit to the left. A little bit more. This is very nitpicky, but sometimes it helps to just move it a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, now I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to group them together, and because our eggs are already aligned, these should, if we duplicate them, they should also align and all be centered now. Okay, and then you can go in and change the numbers, like if you wanted these to be 4s, if you wanted these to be 3s. I'm going to make these 2s. And I'm going to make these ones 2s. Okay, so there is that. Okay, I'm going to show you one more way to do this where you can add little circles to have people check things off. Like, let's say your little icons are just too cute, which they are, and you don't want people to have to cross them out. You can add a little circle icon to the right or the left or wherever looks good, feels right. And I'm going to make this just tiny little check circle. I'm going to make it white, and I'm going to add a little border to it, but I don't want the border to be super big, so I'm going to change the weight to just 1. There we go. And that's what it looks like. And then I'm going to just arrange these. I'm going to select all of them, duplicate, Control D is the shortcut for that. And I'm going to just make sure these all line up. Okay, and that looks pretty good to me. Okay, sometimes, I also forgot to say this, sometimes I like to duplicate one of these little icons, size it down, and instead of saying each, I just put, oops, I just put the icon here. So each caret is this amount. So you can do that as well. Okay. So I think that's it, guys, as far as creating the challenges goes. I'm just double checking that I like how everything is. And I think I do. So we're going to call this one done. Pretty simple, but I think it turned out really cute. All right, so the last step is you can name this if you want. So I'm just going to name this Happy Easter. And then you want to go up here to share, download. Now I like to download as PDF print, and let me see. Yeah, that's free. So you can use this in the free version. Anything that has this crown next to it means that it's the pro version. And that is the same for things up here. So this background that I used was a pro version, but you can find things that are not pro versions and use those in your designs as well. The only thing you have to be worried about with images is copyright, but that is a whole other video, and I'm not gonna really mention that in this one, but please just be aware of copyright rules and policies and stuff. So okay, I do CMYK printing, or CMYK, because that is the colors that your printer uses, is a blend of cyan, magenta, yellow, and K stands for black. Don't ask me why it's K. I don't know. And then we're going to, click download. Now let's say we had another page here with different challenges or some other stuff on it. You can choose which page you want. So if you only want page 1 to download, then you would just highlight page 1. All right, so PDF print, and you click download. Okay, then you can open this and save it to your computer. Now, the last thing I like to do is download it as a PNG so that when I'm posting in my Ko-fi, I can upload the photo and people can see what it looks like. So I just download page 1 as a PNG. Okay, and then I'm going to save this to my computer as well. All right, and that is it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this little tutorial. I hope that you found it helpful and that you learned something that you can use to start creating your own challenges. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you learned today. This is your exit ticket. Share with me or with a partner, a classmate, you know, what did you learn? What's your takeaway from today's little tutorial? I hope that you can put whatever you learned today into practice and start creating some challenges. And I'm so excited to see what you create. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.